What is good, beautiful people? Welcome back to another video. If you just installed your SD suspension coilovers or your Bilstein B14s or KW V1s, V2s, or anything with a similar design, some of y'all might be wondering, how am I going to adjust the ride height without being able to adjust the shock body? Well, today I'm going to show you guys how exactly to adjust this type of coilovers. I just installed my SD suspension coilovers. If you want to know how to install it, the link is in the description below. Let's start with the front this time around because it is the easier of the two. Unlike the rear, the front is a true coilover. The spring sits directly on the shock, so adjusting the lower spring perch changes the ride height. Once you loosen the spring perch, you can rotate it. If you want the car lower, move the spring perch downward. If you want the car higher, move the spring perch upward. It's very straightforward with only a few things that you need to pay attention to. For one, there should be minimal preload, just enough to keep the spring seated. At full droop, the spring should just barely remain captive. You should not be able to rattle the spring or lift the spring by hand. You don't want to preload the spring too much to limit the travel, nor you want to lower the spring perch too low where the spring can rattle bouncing around all over the place once your car is at droop. You just want it to be snug, not overly tightened, and not loose. That's it for the front. Now, the rear works completely differently. This is what is called a divorced setup. I'm talking about the shock and the spring are separated, not your parents. Though I did ask my parents to divorce a few times before. Anyways, instead of adjusting the shock, you're adjusting the threaded spring perch underneath the rear spring or above the rear spring. If you have a locking collar, loosen that. If you don't, well, pray, because your threaded perch will want to rotate with a spring collar. And this is why I put some 3M double-sided tapes when I installed it. Now with my setup, threadening the perch downwards to raise the car and threadening it upwards to lower the car. And if your perch is at the bottom, then up to raise the car and down to lower the car. And once you're finished tightening up the locking collar, if you have one, simple as that. One thing a lot of people don't realize is the rear spring isn't directly underneath the wheel. It's mounted inboard on the control arm. There's a term for it. It is called the motion ratio. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but pretty much it is the shock travel or spring travel divided by wheel travel. If your shock moves nearly 1-to-1 with wheel travel, then your motion ratio will be close to 1. For example, our car's motion ratio is 0.96 for the front, 0.84 for the rear shock, and 0.59 for the rear spring. There's a formula to calculate the effective spring rate, which is wheel rate equals spring rate times the square of motion ratio. Again, we're not going too deep into it. What I'm trying to say here is a small movement at the spring will result in a much larger movement at the wheel or at the fender. So you don't want to make huge adjustments when you're changing the ride height in the rear. Move the spring perch a few turns at a time, lower the car, roll it back and forth, let the spring settle, and then recheck the ride height. If needed, readjust it again because it's fairly simple. It's only going to take you about 5 minutes every time you adjust the spring perch. I know this process might sound very time consuming, but trust me, a car with properly dialed suspension is much better to drive than the same car on the same suspension but with a poor setup. All right, with that, I think I've covered all of the basics. If you found this helpful, hit that like button and subscribe and comment below. Let me know what suspension you're running on your BMW. See you guys in the next video. Peace.